Assalamu alaikum. Great to be back on the stage. I really miss the stage. COVID has really changed all that. Oh, सारे session हमारे online, all we did that. So I always wanted to be, face to face people. When we share or when we mentor or when we want to, guide people, it's best to have face to face sessions, not just on the online. So good to be here. I just like to dwell on the main topic, which is leadership. And whatever we see today, whatever success we see in organization or in any type of sports or any type of projects we do, whenever there's a success, how much leadership played the role and how much team played the role. So question remains, in leadership with the team, what sort of weightage will give the leader for the success and what sort of weightage the team will get? It's very important to really understand that weightage points. To me, leader plays the main role of any success. How many of you remember 1992 World Cup, which Pakistan won? How many of you? Some of you were not even born at that time. And how many of you understand cricket? I hope all of you understand cricket. So if you remember that particular match, boys, if you remember that match, just imagine Wasim Akram took 2 wickets in 2 balls. Yep. Just imagine Imran hasn't given him the over and given Akif Javed the over. Just imagine that. Captain deciding the ball to Wasim Akram, and instead of Wasim Akram, gave it to Akif Javed. I believe the match was won in those 2 balls. Any one of you remember that match? Those 2 balls won the World Cup to Pakistan and our Prime Minister. Some wish it doesn't happen. But don't worry about politics. But that is exactly the decision is about. At a given time, captain took a decision to give the ball to Wasim Akram. And suddenly the game was won. That is what leadership is about. You will never get a perfect team. You cannot have every one of the member skill of same level or same energy, same passion. It's not possible. Never happens. You will always get a team which is balanced, which has weak people, strong people, skilled people, not a team with skill, but it's a team. A leader's role is to harness the energy and total package as a skill to deliver whatever. It's a software project, it's a cricket match, it's a government, whatever it is. How does it happen? So how does leader work? How does the leader behave? How does it happen? I mean, how do you decide? It's not in the books. See, book mein nahi hai. I mean, book will tell you so many things about leadership. But in reality, it's your instinct. At the given time, you decide, take a decision. That decision will decide what, do we succeed or do we fail? That's it. And leaders learn over time how the decision is taken. The leaders who are lucky to fail, I call them lucky, to fail early in their life. Why I call them lucky? They're lucky if they are learning from that failure. They'll be unlucky if they start blaming their team and not learning from that failure. They're very unlucky. But some of them are very lucky, they're very clever. They learn from each failure. They have a match lost. See, Pakistan lost many matches in that series, in the World Cup. In fact, Pakistan lost 3-4 first matches. First 4 matches or 3 matches we lost. So captain, the leader, was learning from those matches. He was not blaming the team in his heart because he knew his team is mediocre. The team was not the perfect team. Let's face it. It wasn't the best team. If you look at the names of the people, it wasn't the best team. But the leader was learning. Each time they lost a match, he was learning. He was checking the behavior of each player, the skills of the batters, skill of the bowlers, the fielders, where to place them, who will take the catch. So 4 matches lost, 4 failures, or whatever number was, he was learning. In his heart, he was talking to himself that I am to blame, I am responsible for losing the match. He's not blaming Wasim Akram or Raka Yunus or Akib Javed or Mushtaq, Saklain, all that. He's not. He's talking to himself. All right? Because I didn't use the bowlers at the right time. I didn't put the right fielder at the right place to slip to miss the catch. He must be doing that because if I'm the leader at that time, I'll be thinking like that. It's my flaw, it's my weakness to lose the match. That's very lucky captain, lucky leader. The lucky leaders always will learn from the failure. And fail we all do. Failure is, it happens. We all fail. Always be a failure in our life. But were we lucky enough to acknowledge that it's our failure? Lucky to then learn from that failure. So this is what happened to that particular World Cup. We lost matches, but at the right time, we peaked. Because all those losses were learning lessons to the leader. He knew every player what their strengths and weaknesses are. By that time, he knew who will bowl at what time. He had already planned in his mind what I will do. He knew English players, what their weaknesses were. So he brought in Wasim Akram at the right time. And 2 balls changed the right. That's leadership. How do you function? How do you decide? Will you ever always look for a perfect set of people to work for you? Yeah, you will decide. You will never do it. You have to make sure whatever team is given to you, yes, you are given choice to pick up. But even when you're picking up, when you're interviewing, you're a mixed bag. Always the mixed bag. But the best results are, in fact, taken from the mediocre team. In fact, very skillful or very smart teams sometimes it's difficult to manage even because they're too smart. They're too smart to work with. So I myself as a leader always pick up a team which is balanced. Few very smart people, few mediocre, few with energy, few with long hour working abilities. I'll pick that up because that way I am able to deliver my results. Now, NETSOL is a company which is now, mashallah, we are in 26th year. I believe so, yeah. 26th year, mashallah. Who's younger than 26? I think you're younger than 26. Who was not born who was born after 96? Few of you, I think, I'm sure. I will show you how पैदा होंगे. इरफान हम ही हो जाएंगे. The company is older than some of you. But this company has learned. It has learned to evolve. I was asked a question. How did we decide to build Resoft? It's said. Where did we get the idea from? Where did it come from? Did we have the knowledge? Did we have the domain expertise when we developed? No. We never had. When we started NETSOL, this is 1996, January, we just wanted to be a service organization. And idea was, like anybody else, we'll take the work, we'll develop, give it back, and we'll make the money. That was the idea at that time. But I, for myself, always wanted to have an organization which does its own product. That was a dream. That was an idea. That was, a wish. A wish to have our own software. Nice to have a wish. You can imagine, you can dream, but how do you decide? Because I'm a techie, I'm a software developer. I don't have a background of financial software. I am not an accountant, I'm not a leasing guy. I have never done that. So when we started working with our first customer, Mercedes-Benz at that time, they had leasing software, and they wanted us to help them service their leasing software to implement, and we did that. But while we were doing it, we watched very carefully how does the software work, what does it do, how does the transaction work. I was the leader at that time with a very small team, and I have to watch and see what can we do to adopt the software. So we started asking Mercedes-Benz to let us develop, let's develop software for you. And they say, you cannot do that. Salim, your company is too young, you don't have the experience, you don't have the background, you don't have domain knowledge of what we do, how can you develop? So I have to convince them, look, we can bring in the people with the domain knowledge, let us try and develop your software for you. After a lot of persuasion, they decided to give us a very small piece of point of sales. It was the first generation point of sales. They said, all right, Mr. NETSOL, we can let you develop a small point of sale system to see if you have the ability to develop a software for us, your own software for us. That was the challenge. Now here I am, with no knowledge of myself, of financial needs, but then I have to put a team together. I have to bring people together with that knowledge so we can develop the system. When we were talking and negotiating with at that time of the people, and because it was their software, it was their business, it was their system, technically we were doing a service for them. It's just a service job. But we convinced them, look, don't pay us a lot of money. We were asking for a few $100,000. Just pay us half of it and let us keep the knowledge with us so we can resell it. That's a very strange thing to ask, because normally company, when they pay for services, they don't allow you to keep the knowledge. That knowledge is there, not yours. But we convinced them at that time that let us keep the knowledge with us so we can then use this knowledge to sell to other customers. Somehow they agreed with us. It was very interesting, and again, maybe it was a good salesmanship on our behalf that we convinced them to let us keep the knowledge. So we developed our first point of sale system for Mercedes-Benz. It worked. Again, very mediocre team at that time, brought in people together, 4 or 5 people together, picked up the right people with the right skill set, put them together as a unit, and just oversaw how they developed. And we did. We developed, we delivered. It was success. Our first delivery was a very successful system for Taiwan. In Chinese, by the way. All Chinese, we never saw the customer of Chinese work, but we did that. So that was a success. First success, very first assignment, and we were successful. So Mercedes-Benz was now impressed that without the proper domain knowledge, we're still able to deliver a small part of the basic system for them. So we continue to pursue them to give us more work. So they give us a second piece of chunk, which is a credit approval system, which we call CAP today, credit approval processing system. And again, this time we convinced them to let the NETSOL keep the knowledge as their ownership, and they will pay us just fraction of the amount which actually cost, and they were happy to pay a small amount for the system, and we kept the knowledge. So we collected the knowledge from point of sales to the CAP, we kept the knowledge with us. And we just kept collecting and learning from their business. This continued until we came to the last part, contract management system. This is now 2001, yeah, 2001. Now we are planning to develop a full contract management system. Again, most of you are part of that development. It's a very complex solution. Again, we convinced them that we have the ability to bring the right people together with the right domain knowledge, expertise, and skill set, so we can deliver you a CMS.